All right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, this morning, coming to you with a message. And the title of this message is Get Your Real House in Order. Get your real house in order. I want to tell you what the real house is. It is your spirit. It is your spirit. That's the real house. And in order to understand. The Most High, Yah, the Ruach HaKodesh, is all understanding. He said, in what? In all your getting, get understanding. In all your getting. Meaning, when you get everything on this earth, get understanding. Because ain't nothing worth anything on this earth than the understanding from the one who has all understanding, which is the Most High Yah. So that's what order. Get it under the order, which is the order of understanding. Get your real house, that means your spirit, in order, in understanding. The Ruach HaKodesh. Let me tell you why. We have a great big understanding in the world today. That's what everybody's following. That's what everybody is following. I didn't even think that having all these devil platforms were a form of the narrow gate and the broad. You see, the two gates, in which one, or lane in which one get in and go in and follow in. Had not all of these platforms been here, the division of separating the wheat from the tare couldn't have been done. Couldn't have been done. Even though heaven's already got in one book, one people, in another book, another people. He already got it from the kingdom. But on the earth, it had to be divided into the twos. And I never gave it a thought until yesterday. Until yesterday, when the Father told me. Even the media has its place. I had a hand in it. Oh, Maya. It played a role. So when Sister Deborah is saying all these people believing this and feeding these people, wait a minute. The wheat and the tare had to be separated, and they had to go in one direction. One or the other. There's only two lanes, y'all. They had to pick their lane according to their real house. Their real house determined which lane they represent. The real house determined the wheat from the tare. The real house determined the tree in the midst of the garden, one of life and one of knowledge of good and evil. Two houses. Which house did you choose? Too bad it wasn't your choice. In the heaven, Yah chose your real house for you because he knew you before the foundation of the world. He predestined you to go in the order in which he already had you listed in the two books in the kingdom. The two eternal books in the kingdom, which rest in him. He already had you listed. So when Sister Deborah said you down here clowning, you just down here clowning. That's why you don't know which way Which way shall I go? Which way shall I go? You really don't know. And when you don't know, you just don't know. But Sister Deborah coming to let you know today, get your real house in order. That's where we at today. Get your real house in order. And that's what this message is going to be about. But first and foremost, I want to go before the throne of the Most High Yah. Oh, Father, Father, Father. Oh, Father, Father, Father. Father, Yah, thank you. Thank you for suffering us to come before your throne in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. Thank you for letting us come so close. Thank you so much, Father Yah, from hearing our prayers unto thee. Father, you have created a body, and you put the head. We want to just thank you for the body and the head, and thanking you for allowing us to be in the body and allowing us to come before you this morning. And we thank you. We thank you for who you are and the ideal of you that all by yourself. You don't need us, the body, for you are the head. And we want to just say thank you. Thank you for being the creator. We couldn't ask for nothing in the heavens nor on the earth better than you, Father Yah. You, Father Yah. You, Father Yah. We can't ask for nothing better. We want to just say thank you. Thank you so much. Father, we want to say we bring in our repent to your throne. We want to say, forgive us. For we know that there's ugly in us and on the outside. You forever cleaning us up, Father. And we want to just say thank you. We want to say that we hope that you help us to be the best that you know, the head knows that we could be, or we should be. And you know as well that we are also flesh. But we thank you for knowing our goings and our comings and our ups and our downs. We know we ugly people, Father. We know we ugly people. But you, Father Yah, you, and because of you, Father Yah, you know all things. You know what you can do for us. You know what you can do with us. But we want to let you know we some ugly people, Father. And thank you for putting up with us. Thank you for even dealing with us. Thank you for what took place before the foundation of the world, that you still kept us in the palm of your hand. And we ask you to help us to be the best that you know. You are the head of the body, and you know all things. Help us to be the best that you know that we can be. For we don't have the sense to know anything. But what I know, Father, what I know can help us a great deal to be the best that we should be. And I ask you that you forgive us, strengthen us, and guide us, and show us how to do things right, how to go about things in the way of the narrow gate, to find the right way, starting with our inner man till our outer man. We want to ask you to continue, which thy will, continue to work with us from the outside in and the inside out, from the outside in and inside out. Continue to work with us. Because without you, we are nothing. And we want to give you all glory. We want to give you all praise, Father Yah. We want to give you all honor. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And hallelujah. Now, okay. Here we are with the word, the message this morning. The message this morning is get your real house in order. And I explained to you what your real house is. It's your inner man, your spirit. That's the only one Yah is concerned about. Because once that house is in order, that flesh fall in line. You see? The house is in order because it has the order to keep it in order. And the order is understanding. Yah is all understanding in the heavens, beneath the earth, and on the earth. Yah holds all understanding. Now, we got understanding in our flesh, but it's not understanding that we understand of our spirit, nor the spirit of Yah that's in us. So our flesh can't really embrace the real house. It can obey the real house, which is our spirit. We were supposed to get our spirit under our flesh under the subjection of our spirit, but we failed to do that. We always want our flesh to have the first and the last word. We want it to rule from the beginning to the end. That's why it's our greatest enemy. It's because we constantly keep giving it the authority. But Yah says to you this morning, get your real house in order. The real house is the spirit, okay, of a man. It's one that's not going to be out here forcing anything, because the real house is what is under the head, which is the Hamashiach, Christ. And the body is made up of the real house, you see? And there are many in that body. That's where he poured out the gifts as well, for us to be able to work in the body, you see? So I, Sister Deborah, would like to start off in Proverbs 16. In Proverbs 16, and let's go to verse 1 and 2, a place we've been several times. In Proverbs 16, and let's start with verse 1. The preparation of the heart in man. The preparation of the heart in man. Okay? And the answer of the tongue is from Yah. You see? That goes back to all these platforms. Who's speaking what? You can tell who represent Yah and who represent the world. Why? It's the way they speak it. It's the way they speak it. It says the preparation of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from Yah. So that there is those who speak from the level of the world. And then there are those who speak from the level of the Father, of the kingdom. People thinking they speaking because their pastor made them, or their bishop made them a pastor. They made them a speaker. People are speaking totally out of order. That's because their real house is out of order. So they matching up. They got on the same shoe on the left as it is in the right, on the right. On the right is the spirit. It's matching the shoe of the flesh on the left. So they got a set. So what's in their mouth of their spirit rolls out into what's in their mouth of their flesh. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So here he's letting you know, I rule it. Check. You see? And it makes me still kind of grip the fact that the gate is still yet narrow. And you know what? In that gate, those that are going in that gate, I believe there's another. I can't say, no, I can't say it's another one. I can't. I just got to go with the gate. Let me stay with there. Let me stay with those who going through the narrow gate. Let me stay there. So here in Proverbs 16, it gives you an idea that there is one that really doesn't understand that the preparation of their heart is in man. It's in man. And the answer of their tongue is from Yah. Just imagine if the world knew that in the proper order, what would really be on their mind? Let's go to verse 2. Verse 2 said, all the ways. It didn't say some. It says all the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes. You see, his own eyes represents his flesh. Just like in verse 1, the preparation of the man, of the heart in man, and the answer of the tongue is from Yah. It's from Yah, but he's telling you what's in man. He's telling you what is in man. In verse 2 said, all the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes. You can't tell people nothing. You can't tell them nothing. Because in them, they're clean in their own eyes. They're good. Hey, I know I got it. I know I got the keys to the kingdom. I know I'm going to the Mount Zion. That's how assured people are. To where they don't even feel that they need to even get no real house in order. I'm already in order. I already got my keys. I got my ticket. I know I'm in going to Mount Zion. I know I'm going to the kingdom. That's why they won't get in order. Because, see, their flesh house got them thinking that their spiritual house is in order. You see, their flesh house got them thinking their real house is in order. It's in order to the flesh. It is not in order to the spirit of Yah. You see? And this is how, and I think of that, if you really think of that, Satan come to deceive the whole world. But he didn't say Satan is our worst enemy. He said we are. See, that's why I tell y'all, people don't realize Satan comes to deceive the whole world. To deceive the whole world. But what did we come down as students? We come down in the flesh and in the spirit. We have a spirit and we have a flesh. We come down to do what? To our real house, to follow the way of our real house in us that's going to show up in our flesh. Identify our real house of our spirit. It's going to identify it through your flesh. Watch this. Verse 2, Proverbs chapter 16, verse 2. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes. That's the flesh. but Yah wed the spirits. You see? Yah ain't gonna weigh the flesh, because he know the flesh ain't the one that is the real house. You see how people don't know? They don't even understand it. That the flesh is not the real house. Who think everything is good? I'm clean. They have no idea. But it says, but Yah wed the spirits. Because this is not the way of the flesh. It is the way of the spirit that's being measured on the earth. I had no idea that all these platforms was a form of separating the wheat from the tare. All these platforms is set up to separate the two. The narrow gate, the broad gate. All these platforms is a form of the two trees. One, the tree of life. The other one, the tree of knowledge and good and evil. That's what these platforms are set up for. To do the separation from the narrow gate to the broad gate. From the broad gate to the narrow gate. From the wheat to the tare. From the tare from the wheat. It's to separate it all. And see how we thinking in our own eyes? We do the separation. Because in us, we good. When a person can't separate the two and have the understanding, which is the order of the two, then they know not. They have no idea. Until you're able to separate the real house, okay, from the flesh, then you just out there, just going to and fro, waiting for the end of your breath of life and the end of eternal life or the lake of fire. So Yah is saying to you today, those that are in the body of Hamashiach, get your real house in order. Is he saying you got an order you can get in order of your flesh? No. Get it lining up with the order in the heaven. Heaven's already got you listed. He's saying get your real household in order with the spirit of what? Of Yah, who is what? All understanding. It's time to understand. It's what he said. And lining up with the Ruach HaKodesh that has and is and was all understanding. You know how excellent he is in that understanding? All you have to do is go to Proverbs 16. The preparation of the heart of man and the answer of the tongue is from Yah. All the ways of man are clean in his own eyes, but Yah wed the spirits. So you wonder, how must I get my real house in order? It's saying it's time to fall under, your spirit to fall under understanding. Understanding is the order that is blowing the trumpet today. Get your spirit into understanding, who is all understanding, the Most High Yah. One other thing I want to share with you all, it would be a beautiful thing if we also work on, when we are witnessing or when we are communicating try very, not hard, but try to touch base with Judah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Try to touch base with Judah. But if your real house is out of order, you can't do that. You can't, but excuse me, you can't touch base with Judah if your real house is not in order with Yah. You see, people's real house, which is their spirit, is in order with their flesh. And this is what you see on these platforms when Sister Deborah's trying to understand how all these people are following these people. They follow in the flesh. The real house, which is the spirit, it follows the order of Yah, which is all understanding. This is the reason why he said, in all you're getting, get understanding. And that understanding rests in the bosom of the Father. And it's all understanding. That's how he was able to make sure the understanding in the words. Just listen to it. The preparation of the heart is man. The preparation of the heart in man. And the answer of the tongue is of Yah. Hebrews. Verse 2, all the ways of a man are clean in his own flesh, but Yah with the spirits. He's not coming after the flesh. It is not the real house. It is a man's spirit that is the real house. Just imagine, 99.9% of individuals on this earth have no idea that that is what you call spirit and truth. The truth of the matter is we got two beings, our flesh and our spirit. When our spirit, when our flesh has no understanding of our spirit, then there's no way you're going to be able to go into the narrow gate because you have not found the way. Remember he said the narrow gate leads to the way. The narrow gate is the way that leads to life. But very few shall find. Find. How must they find it? Is this reason of few showing you that not many is going to find something? The narrow gate, which is the way. Why must we find it when it's been predestined? You see? Same thing of what I'm saying. Why should you be getting your real house in order if you are already in the order of the way heaven has orchestrated? It ain't over as in your death yet. You're still living. So get the rest of your living on this earth in alignment with your real house, understanding Yah. That's the order. That's the trumpet that's being blown. Get your spirit in order. Order is represent understanding. That is Yah. Yes, you have an understanding in your flesh. And that's what 99.9, they're allowing their real house to be their flesh. And their understanding is flesh. Their understanding is flesh. Their real house to them is flesh. Like I said, just imagine people find out that, hey, you mean I got a spirit that feels different and think different than my flesh? Yes. Look at verse 2. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 2. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes. That's his flesh. But Yah checks the spirit realm. Why? Because that's where the truth is at. That's why he tried to tell us, y'all, the battle ain't in the flesh. You can sit here and fight with Sister Deborah all day and all night. But that's not where the real battle is. The battle is in the spirit. And if you're fighting Sister Deborah in the flesh, just imagine what the battle is in the spirit. And if there's a fight, it's because there's two different entities. One is the spirit and one is the spirit of wicked and darkness is fighting the one that is the spirit of light. It ain't going to be no two light fight. It ain't going to be no two darkness. You're going to have two darkness. They fight. But you ain't going to have two light in the spirit fighting. And if they are, y'all going to bring the correction in the spirit. Because the battle is really in the spirit. It ain't in the flesh. The battle, you can see the battle of people killing their kids, killing their wives, killing their brethren, their mother, their father. They're doing all kinds of things. That's in the flesh. That's a different battle. But the real battle, he says, in the spirit realm. And that's the one I'm saying to you all, that people don't have no idea that it's the spirit of who they are that dictate who they are on the flesh, in the flesh. You see? Just imagine all these people who can't find the narrow gate. They don't even know if they got a spirit. The word soul keep people from really understanding the spirit. What do you mean, Deborah? Let me explain something to y'all. If you put a middleman in between the flesh and the spirit, the middleman will be the focus. And that's what the world did. That's what they did. They made everybody think that there's a soul. Now focus on that. Because you can't focus on the soul because you don't know what that is. But when you say spirit, you can detach spirit. Everybody can detach spirit with some sort of words that make sense. You can detach the flesh with some sort of words that make sense. But when you get into soul, you can't really detach it. Do they detach it to many things? Yes, they do. But if you really get down to the core of it, you really can't detach it because there's no meaning for it. It's no purpose for it. Just like they rewrote all these books. And you got people running, grabbing all these lost books. They took this out. They took this out. They took this out. And since you found the book, where have you found the narrow gate? Have you found the way of Yah? Have Yah found you? Is he living in you? Is he greater in you? Is he walking in you? Is he speaking through you? Is his light shining in you? Since you done found all the books. You ain't even found the narrow gate. So having all the books ain't gonna show you the way. It ain't gonna show you the way. Because the books don't know the way. The books are not the way. The Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, is the way to the narrow gate that leadeth thee to find. You see? People don't know their spirit because they taught them a soul to keep them from knowing their spirit. Why? Why? One of you all say, oh, because the ball was dropped. Let me tell you something. It's deeper than being dropped, you guys. It's deeper than that. Let me just take you a little place there. If this is the flesh, we know it was formed from the ground. We got the flesh. Where is the spirit formed? Where is it formed from? People don't know. You know why? You put a soul in there to keep you from doing your deep study on the spirit. Because when you find out about the spirit, you will find out that, wait a minute, there is a Yah. There is a creator. Because if I got a spirit, where did I get it from? You see? The way of the spirit is of Yah. You got it through the breath of Yah. He gave you an image of him through the breath. And he allowed you to have your own image of a spirit because he had a spirit and he gave you your own image of a spirit. Why? So when he come, that's where he can abide, in your spirit, because he ain't gonna deal with the flesh. He don't go into a hollow darkness, but he'll go into the spirit and abide in your spirit, because he gave you that spirit through your breath. When he blew in that breath, that's when you became living, because he blew in you an image like unto him, which is a spirit, and the spirit is what's holding the breath of life. That's why when the breath of life is sniffed out, the spirit sleep. The body is just dead, ready for the grave. But the spirit sleeps. Why? It has not the breath. See, people never, they don't, y'all, that's so deep. Father, y'all, that's just so deep for such a time as this. Such a lost time as this is so deep. This is why they never wanted the people to know they had a spirit. Because if you knew you had a spirit, now you got to go into the study of the spirit. You done your study of the flesh. You know the human body, the mind, and everything. But what happens is, once you understand the spirit, then you realize, wait a minute, there's no soul. And you mean the flesh, that all that we studied on the flesh, of the flesh. You mean none of this flesh can exist? The heart, the mind, the nothing, the thoughts are nothing without the spirit, which is the image of Yah, the image like unto Yah, that was blown into you. Your spirit is the only thing that holds the breath of life. So why is it so in there? It's to keep the people, and it successfully has worked. Satan ain't intelligent enough to do that. See, y'all don't understand. See, many of you all blame Satan for everything. But why won't Satan be liable for all those who followed him, if that's the case? You didn't put Satan down here. So why are you being judged by your own when he was put down here? Because you got down here and you showed that that's what's in you. Your spirit is the spirit that wanted to follow knowledge of good and evil. That's what your spirit wanted from above. And he got it when he got down here. Went directly to it, as if it was a piece that was missing. Let me detach myself to my other piece. That's what they did. But it wasn't so much that everything that you're seeing now, man is getting away with it because everybody can say it's the devil. It's darkness, it's wicked and evil. Yes, we can say that. But who's working it? The flesh that has wicked spirits. That's how they get away with it. And the people running around here saying they took our books, they took this, they took this, they took this. No one wants to seek themselves. No one wants to seek themselves and find out about who Yah is, who he was, and who he created you to be. So what do? They don't know nothing about the spirit. And they detach everything to flesh and soul. And they don't dig in on the spirit realm. No matter what is said in their instructions and direction books, they don't follow it. That's why you know that even if you found all million books that's missing out of the book, it ain't gonna help you. It has not steered you to know Yah any better. People don't get it. No matter what book been taken out, what book's been added, none of it cause you to follow the way of the spirit. None of it is directing people to the way of the spirit. It's directing people only to the flesh and the middleman that was placed there, which was soul. And when you don't understand the spirit, then that's why you don't understand Yah. You don't understand the ball was dropped long time ago. Even when it came down to understanding the spirit, having its destiny, and the flesh having its destiny. Oh no, we're gonna put the middleman in here so nobody will never know the destiny of the spirit. We'll just follow the destiny of the flesh, and we'll abide by the soul. No one never found their way home. That's why he said very few shall find their way. Because the way is of the way of the spirit. And then he turned around and said, what he say? You fight not against. He telling you right there. You don't fight against flesh. And a lot of them says soul is your emotions, the way you feel. What ain't that flesh? But you putting something there so people won't ever understand what it means to not fight against flesh and blood, but against spirit. What does it mean? They don't know because they never understand or understood the realm of the spirit, and that the real fight has always been there. And that's what the flesh been fighting, its own spirit. You see? So understand, we are our worst enemy. Why? Because our flesh gets us to do things against our spirit. The spirit is so willing to do what? Things that's right. But our flesh keep us from doing the things that's right. So the battle always was and is in the spirit. So when you get to that Proverbs 16, this is why he's letting you know. I know the flesh because I designed it. I created it with my right hand. But the spirit is what I predestined, I ordained, I foreknew, I written in the books, either the lake of fire or the books of eternal kingdom. Okay? So when he's saying get your house, your real house, he's speaking of your spirit in order, meaning in the order of understanding the Ruach HaKodesh, the spirit of Yah. Get your spirit to understand what God said the Most High is saying unto it. He ain't got nothing to say to your flesh. Because if he speaks to the spirit and the spirit abide in him and him in it, the spirit is going to get the flesh under subjection and check it and let it know who rules. And it won't have the order or the control. So Yah say in such a time as this, get your real house in order. Let's go to Genesis. No, let's go to Matthew's chapter 10. In Matthew's chapter 10 and verse 19. In Matthew's chapter 10 and verse 19. But when they deliver you up, take no thoughts how or what ye shall speak. Look how he shut down the flesh. What did he shut down? He shut down the mind of the flesh, the mouth of the flesh. For it shall be given you in that hour, in that same hour, what thou shalt speak. He's letting you know, shut the mind down and the mouth. The spirit that's in you will speak out of you. You see that? You see how he said, shut it down. Don't worry about it. When that hour comes, who's going to pull up? The spirit is going to pull up. Your spirit is going to speak. Why? Because the Ruach that's in you going to be the speaker through you. But you got to do what? But when they deliver you up, take no thoughts. Don't even think how or what ye shall speak. Move that flesh out the way. Any situation you in, stop putting that flesh in authority. The thought, the mouth, I got to say this. I got to say this. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to speak this. I got to speak this. He said, shut it down. For in that, for it shall be given you in the same hour what ye shall speak. Why? Because the Ruach in you is going to speak through you. Through what part? Your spirit. And your spirit is going to be your mouthpiece. That's the power the spirit has over the flesh. But no, people don't want to shut that flesh down. Here it's actually shutting it down. Why? Why do you say that? The mouth is still speaking. No, the spirit is speaking through the mouth. How do you know? But when they deliver you up, take no thoughts. Don't even think it. Don't even use this. Don't work this to figure out how or what you're going to do or what you should say or what you should do. He said, don't think that, don't use this. This is the one that think it's righteous in his own eyes. Shut that down. Let the spirit that's in you speak through you. That'll be your speaker. And it might have to pull up in that very hour, but guess what? It's always on time. People, right there is an example of showing you the level of the spirit that's greater than the level of the flesh. The thought to speak ain't nothing on that which will pull up in that very hour and speak. You see, that's showing, it's showing you how the flesh got to be shut down. And that's when the spirit would rise. So today, get your real house in order. Get your real spirit in the order of understanding the Ruach HaKodesh. And not so much let your mouth be your speaker, or your thought of your mind, of your flesh be your answer to everything you say, do. Don't let it have that dominion over you. Because that's exactly what this is. The very hour. Don't worry about it. What ye shall speak. Because when that time comes, that same hour, what ye shall say, he said, will be given. Will be given. Where is it given? Through your spirit, from the spirit of Yah, to speak. After you shut that mind and don't let it speak. It's shutting the flesh, rising the spirit. That's why people don't understand anything about their spirit man. Anything. They can't find their way nowhere without understanding the spirit. So even in this topic of this message, get your real house, meaning your spirit, in order. Order is an understanding. He said, in all your getting, get understanding. So that real house right now in this day that we're in, we need to get our spirit in full understanding of the order of the Most High Yah. Okay, so let's go to Genesis chapter 2. In the book of Genesis chapter 2, Genesis chapter 2. In Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9, it says, and out of the ground made Yah to grow every tree that was pleasant to the sight and good for food, and the tree of life also in the midst of the garden. I like that because he kind of just let you know, and the tree of life also was there, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil was also. Okay. Now, right there is showing you two separate. It's showing you the flesh and it's showing you the spirit. It's showing you two directions. It's actually showing you why. Why did you do that, Father Yah? Why did you plant the tree of life in the midst and the tree of knowledge of good and evil? because those are the two directions to the spirit of men, males and female. Those are the two directions. See, a lot of y'all do your study in the twos, but the directions also fall under the twos as well. It is the twos, because heaven divided into twos. Everything was split up in the twos, one to go this way and one to go this way. Then down to earth, two trees. So if you ever wonder why was two trees down there, it's because two trees was in the kingdom. Two direction was in the kingdom. So that same direction that's in the kingdom was brought down to the earth. You see? That what? That direction that heavens has assigned you in the two books, that you can perform it on the earth. So here he says, out of the ground made Yah to grow every tree that is pleasant in the sight and good for food. Pleasant in the sight. The sight, is it in the sight of the spirit or in the sight of the flesh? It would have to be in the sight of the flesh. Okay? The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil also in the midst of the garden. So here the flesh is in the midst of two trees, okay? And each tree carries a spiritual, how would I say it? Presence. A spiritual presence. Okay? Everything that Adam had in was created. He was created. He was perfect. He was created. Everything on his outside was perfectly created. Everything that was around him was perfectly created. But when you look into the garden, you see two perfectly trees. One represent one thing, the other one represent the other. What was in Adam that he had everything on the outside perfect? What chose? What was the one? What was really choosing in the garden? Let's go to verse 17. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 17. But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in that the day that thou eat it, thou shalt surely die. You would think, let's stop right there. So here go Adam, two trees. Two trees are there, perfectly set up. Everything perfectly set up for Adam. What part of Adam, or what was made the choice in Adam to choose the tree of knowledge of good and evil? Would you say his flesh, or would you say his spirit? What part of him chose the tree of knowledge of good and evil over the tree of life? What part? It was not his flesh. It was his spirit that chose the tree of knowledge of good and evil. When you read verse 17, but the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eat it, thou shalt surely die. In his flesh, he could not have known what surely died was, is. So he had to have chosen it. In his spirit did he choose the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Because had he understood what it was saying in his flesh, that he would die. But he chose it in the spirit because it was representing the spirit. Those two trees was representing the eternal destiny of each and every last one of us. We choose this every day of our living, the tree of life, or we choose continue the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It's in us already. Because where he says, thou shalt surely die, that's not the death of the flesh. That's the death of the spirit. Many didn't know that. That surely die. Adam didn't die right then and there. It is speaking of the death of the spirit. It's speaking of the death of eternal. See, he was perfect in the flesh. Had he thought for 1 minute that surely die, surely you're not going to die, like Satan told him, spoke to him as it was said. I don't agree with none of that, but notice it says where in Genesis 3 and verse 4, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. What death is he speaking of? The flesh. The serpent speaking to them that they will not surely die, meaning of the flesh. They had no idea that they come down, okay, and the two trees are put there to allow us, especially them as well, to go in the direction of their own eternal spirit. We're doing it today. There's people right here today said they full of the Holy Spirit. They said it, they're the righteous. They're the body of Hamashiach. They're saved. They're sanctified. They got their ticket to the kingdom. They got their keys to the kingdom to open up the door. They got everything. But yet, they can't break down why are there two trees in the midst and what will be the purpose of it if Yah wanted us to all have eternal life. Well, all you had to do is put one tree there. Why was the other? Because it was the tree to eternal death. You see? That's what it is. It's not, that's why Satan said that you will not surely die, as they got it written in there. It's because it's not the death of the flesh. It is the death of the spirit. So the two trees were your destiny in the spirit, either eternal life or eternal death. You will surely, I like that, surely, I like the word they use, for sure die. For sure. Did Adam know that it means life after death? Did he know that it means your spirit shall die? Eternal? Did Adam know about the lake of fire? No. No. It didn't matter. It wasn't about him having order, which is understanding. The understanding that he needed is what Yah gave him. I'm giving you two trees. Don't eat, not only that, you got two trees in the midst. Don't take of this tree here. There go the commandment and the order. And what y'all do not understand, this commandment and order wasn't a commandment and the order of your bishop, your pastor, your priest, your evangelist, your teacher, your prophet, your prophetess, your Maureen, your seer. This was the order from the kingdom of heaven, he that sits on the throne. The order was given unto him from the horse's mouth. See, you never thought of it like that. You see, the order was given to him not to take of it. But if you didn't want him to take of it and you didn't want him to surely die, don't put it there. But guess what? Heaven's is in the twos. I couldn't just put the life. I had to put the death there too. Because it's matching the kingdom. I got a book of eternal life and eternal death. Bam, I got to bring two down to the heaven, to the earth. Two got to come down to the earth. You see, that's why I'm saying to y'all, it's amazing how we are in the year 2025 and how Yah has done this thing and not allowing people to go and pick up the ball and teach it right. It ain't that he's not allowing it in this day and time. They couldn't pick up the ball even if they tried. It's too heavy. Why is it too heavy for them, Deborah? It's too heavy. They couldn't even pick it up. They couldn't even pick it up even if they tried. It's too heavy. What do you mean? Their flesh have taught the lie so long that they have weakened to the lie of the flesh and the lie of darkness to where to go pick up a ball that's light, they couldn't even pick it up. Matter of fact, they probably couldn't even find it to go pick it up. It's the same situation with the two trees. When you figure it out and you say, if we were to live eternal kingdom of heaven, he would have just put that one tree there. But he didn't. He put another one in the midst, giving that individual to walk in the way of their spirit. See, you all thought and think that the creator is like unto a man. It's what you say, what you think, and you feel. I tell you, get your real house in order. And I'm speaking to the body of Hamashiach. Your real house is not your flesh. Nobody don't give a rat's behind about your emotions and your feelings, your personal opinion, your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding in your flesh. The real house is what's in the spirit of who you are. And the order is the order of understanding, the Ruach HaKodesh. This is why people cannot find their way to even understand that there's a narrow gate. They only think there's a broad one. That's why everybody go that way. They only think, hey, I don't think it's only one way. It's this way. Everybody going this way. All of us can't be wrong. Surely this is the way. But they don't understand the battle is not in the flesh, it's in the spirit. And your own spirit has you walking through the broad gate. It has you walking in the narrow. It had Adam going to the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And it wasn't Adam flesh only. It was his spirit that chose death over life. You see? Stop making it like somebody done something to you. No. Somebody did from the kingdom. But when we come down to this earth, you realize when that day went, oh, they ain't nobody waiting for that day because ain't nobody reached that day. That's why nobody ain't worried about it because they don't think that day gonna come. They don't think that day gonna come. But I believe, I know. Excuse me. I know for a fact that day gonna come. For a fact, for sure, that we gonna reach that day. Oh, yes. So I say unto you that when you understand the spirit is separate from the flesh and the flesh is separate from the spirit, and if your flesh is going in the order of what you think your spirit is, then that's why you go in that order. And this is why people don't understand. They don't understand about the body of Hamashiach. Yah is not sending the body of Hamashiach into the understanding of getting your house, your real house, in order to allow you to think that you can actually be on one side and the body on another, and you don't have to be on one accord with the body or with understanding the body. Oh no, no, y'all ain't gonna have us in this end day fighting in the body of Hamashiach. If we are in it, we're in it, but we have to be able to see it in the spirit realm. What did Adam do? Many people today, 99.9, is walking straight into the Garden of Eden, in the Garden of Eden. They see the two trees and they still choosing the tree of knowledge of good and evil because they prefer that, because they love the idea that they have the power and control of the flesh to choose as they think, but they don't understand. You don't have no change. You choose in the flesh, but you have already been chosen in the spirit. Okay, that's where the eternal. That's why everybody don't understand. He don't care about what you gonna do in your flesh. He knows already your spirit is either one place or another in the kingdom, in one book or the other. So while you down here thinking that you ruling in the flesh, I got one life to live, I do what I want, I say it the way I want, I feel it the way I want. That's why a lot of people right now are ill today. It's because they have done it their way. They don't see no other way in the spirit realm to be healed. First and foremost, you got to be healed in your spiritual, your natural mind, because it feels everything of the flesh is righteous. It don't understand. No, it can't override what's in the spirit mind. But they don't understand that because they think it's about their flesh, and they choose their flesh daily, day by day by day. I want to talk also about, so I say unto you, get your real house in order. And the real house is your spirit, and the order is the order of understanding the Ruach HaKodesh. So I also want to say that I had a dream. And in this dream, it was dolls and all women. And the women had all the children. It was doll and all the women. And the women had children. The children, lots of children, lots of women. When I say lot, I ain't talking about thousands and hundreds. It seemed like it was a lot. And it was like we were going. I'm with them, but it's almost like I'm just in it, in the midst of it. And Dow had his two sons with him. He had his two babies with him, and the women were carrying his children. And he was leading the women, and it was like they were going on a trip, and then they end up at the hotel. And the women had all the children are all over the place, and they weren't all over the place. They was all together, but he was more so, Giles was more so like in the back, and the women was walking forward, like they knew the way to where they were heading, like it was some type of convention or something where the children was going, and the women were assisting the children at some sort of convention or something that was happening in this town and at this hotel. And you guys, I was watching all the time the women taking control over the children, leading them, and the kids are so excited and everything. And I also remember seeing Dow carrying his son one time. Then I saw him carrying his youngest son another time. But he was like in the back, as if the women were in the front. He was like in the back, following, making sure all the kids stay together with the women in front. And all of a sudden, there were other kids in the hotel coming from another direction. And all of a sudden, I turned, and it was like a flick of a turn. And the whole group that I was with, which was dolls, they were gone. They were just out of nowhere. And I looked around and tried to find them. Could not find them nowhere in the facility. nowhere. And it was just like a blink of an eye, they were gone. This is just a dream that I have. I don't know what is connected to this, why dial or is in a dream that I'm having. It's no, I'm not going to detach anything spiritual to it or anything natural to it. I'm just thinking, why would that dream be put in my view of sleep? It's just strange to me. But yeah, I sure did. And I thought that was really strange. And I'm not making it a spiritual thing or this is going to happen. Or no, I'm just saying to you all, I had that dream. And another thing that happened to me yesterday, I got up, I went into the bathroom and I began to run the water. I drink this 2 cups of water in this glass. Took the glass out, uh, ran my warm water, and I drink it every morning. Every morning I drink it. And as I was washing my face, I felt myself asking the most the most high a question. And the strangest thing about this question, it felt so real. And it was. I know that it was. I know he was still speaking to me regarding, because he had to check me in it. And it was a good check. Oh my. I had to get that thing out that was covering. And I feel that it was a good check. It was good. But I was standing in the mirror and I just drinking my water. And then I put it down and the water was running. And I've got my face towel and running it under the warm water. And the question was, I found myself asking Yah a question. And I say, it is a powerful thing for one. Now, this is what I said, y'all. I was saying it not with mouth, but what in me. It had to be in my spirit. Where one can look all the way down on the earth, millions and trillions. That's what I just was thinking of people. All these people on the earth, and can pinpoint one, one to do his will. He don't need everybody. He can chime in on one to do his will. I know what I say to the Most High Yah. But for someone to come along and matches what I'm saying to the Father, that cannot be done. So I'm like in the mirror washing my face and letting the water run, and I say, how can that be? That you can look all the way down on the earth, find one individual to answer the prayer that I speak unto thee. One, he ain't asking the world. He's triggering only to one. And that one don't even know. For him to do that, you would have to be the one. You would have to be. Because the individual wouldn't know. The individual would not know no matter what. Even if I say, they would not know. It would take Yah, who I pray to in secret, for him to look on the earth and say, I know what I got. I know what I got that can do this, and this. I'm going to show y'all how he checked me. I said, out of all the people in the world, he ain't doing it through no one that's elite, what the world has. He's doing it through an individual that he has. And At that moment, I felt that that individual still have no idea what they really, when I say no idea, the spiritual part that plays that heavy role in what they're doing. They have no idea. Because if they did, they would understand like I'm understanding. Wait a minute. All these million of people on this earth, could be billion, I don't know. You can chime in on one to answer a prayer of Sister Deborah to you, the Father. My prayer is not to no one but the Father. And the Father says your daily bread. He never given me anything to exceed anything outside of what he knows my daily need is. That's what gets me. Because how can one know what I'm seeking Yah for? Or even if I don't seek Yah, which I do, Yah knows your need before you in need for it. He knows what daily bread represents. And he only give you that. No more and no less. Not nothing to really make you above or have. Never. He don't do it that way. But so I'm in this bathroom washing my face saying, wow, all these people in this world. You know why I'm saying it to him like that? Because Yah knows what everybody have. Even though the people that have it don't have no understanding. He didn't give it to you because of you. He gave it to you because he gave it to you to be who you are. If you're greed, here, let me give you this so you can be greedier. Okay? He knows what he has given. Donald Trump, y'all think Donald Trump got what he got? Y'all knows what heaven has issued and ushered out. And it all has its reasons. It all has its purpose. Purpose from the kingdom. And we down here on the earth will struggle mentally trying to figure out why would this creator give one this and give another this? Give one this and give another nothing. Give one this and give another nothing. Give one. What did and what went on in the kingdom that he orchestrated it that way? So my question was, how could that be? How could that be that Yah beamed down onto the earth and would allow one to do what he said do, what he want Sister Deborah to receive? It is to me it's just powerful. But guess how he checked me? He said, you asked that question. And let me tell you why. You remember how Sister Deborah said that he said you ask and it shall be given. He said you seek and you shall find. You can seek a question and you shall find. You knock and the door is answered. So if you don't bring those three before the throne, how are you expecting to knock and get an answer? How you expecting to seek? How are you expecting to find? And how are you expecting to ask without getting an answer? You see? So I'm like, in this situation, I'm asking the question and I was out of order. I was out of order because he brought me to a level of really checking myself. Where do you line up? Let me tell you how he checked me. He said, now, you asking me a question as if it's too hard. You asking me a question as if you got the answer. You asking me a question as if it cannot be done. You asking me a question as if you lost your faith. You asking me a question as if you don't understand. This is how he brought it to me. He said, but let's use you, for instance. He said, let's use you, for instance. The way that I was bringing him the question is, how could that be? How could one person bless Sister Deborah in her daily need at that moment, and Yah suffered that to be? How could that be? So you know what he told me? He was asking me and putting me through this thing where you asking that question. These are the questions we should not ask Yah. Remember he said we're not supposed to question Yah? And that's what he was saying. You're trying to question me. How could this be done? How could I pray to you and you choose from the earth who you already know that can respond, not respond, but to do what you want me to be given after I pray to you? How could that be? Because I'm like looking at it when, okay, I prayed it, and in me, it wasn't to get nothing, this, no, but it was what my prayers was sent up. And it bothers me because this has happened 4 or 5 times. And I'm trying to grip, how could this be? Where is that faith? Where is that trust that I can do all these things? Don't you tell the people that I can do anything? You see? So he was checking me. He said, now let's look at you. He said, this whole world would know that I looked from high and low, and I saw you as one. People wouldn't even tell you that they never heard what you have said ever in their life, but they haven't. But I chose you, the one, to come and give them what they never heard, they never seen, nor they never understood. But I chose you. I was high. I am low. But I looked high and looked low and got you to be the one on this platform to speak that which man has not heard, nor have they seen, nor have they understand. Did I choose many? No, I chose you. You are one that I chose to be ministering in this midnight hour. You're the one that I chose to bring the light out of the darkness. You are one. And I chose you from high, from low, from in between. I chose one. So is it too hard for me to choose one? Because I know what I've given every human being on this face of the earth, even the homeless that's sitting out on the street. He knows what he have given them and what he has allowed them not to have. So he's saying, don't question how that can be from the kingdom. How could you be speaking what you speaking if it's not from the kingdom? You see, he was saying now, where have you heard someone speak the way that you speak? To bring light onto the earth, the way that you bring light. You never question me about you, but you question me about how can I choose one to bless you. You see, because in me, it's just not to say that, because this is the problem. In the body of Hamashiach, Yah has chosen the body. And in the body are the individual that he has chosen to be in the body, to work in the body. And in the body, if he's the head over the body, then we have to understand he rules the body itself. So I'm questioning it because I knew that it wasn't something that, oh man, it was just me asking him. But what I found out I wasn't asking him. I was questioning. How could that be? How could that be? And he had to let me know, how could you be? How many balls have you said dropped? How many messages have you spoken where you knew that you knew people ain't never heard of? Do you really think that come from you? No. You know where that come from. Same thing. If someone gives, know that it's the relationship between you and I. I know you did not ask anyone. You asked me. And I look low and high anywhere I know were mines. And if it, not if, but it has what I have given it. Have he given the whole world millions, billions, and trillions? And that's the question was all these, out of all these people, how is it that you can beam on one and get one to bless your servant? It's just to me, that just, wow. And he said at that time, he told me, you're questioning me. So let me ask you, what about you? How did I look from high and low in any way on the earth and got you to be the speaker on, on my behalf? To say what you say, to speak the way you speak. I chose you as that one, just like I chose that one. You got to understand, those are the questions that should not be asked. A question from he that can do any and everything his way. That's when you're not supposed to question Yah. You don't question him by the way that he does things. We don't do that. And mine was just doing that. And he checked me by using me as an example. Then I send you? Then I have you to be on YouTube teaching? And you yourself can't say you heard the things that I put inside of you, and I spoke to you, and how I taught you that you're speaking out. You can't say you heard anyone on the earth speaking like that. So ain't you that one that I chose? You see? So he was reversing it on me to let me understand. Don't think ain't nothing too hard for him. It's what he's saying. And don't go that route. Not in this day and time. Get back in your lane. You see? So I appreciate the Most High Yah for that, because it was, and I felt it all that day. Him, in a sense, correcting me. And I'm going to tell you how he allowed me to feel it, is to know that when I sent you, you was one. Mm, 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 mm. You see? So that's how I don't question that. You get what I'm saying? So you know how many years they said we're not supposed to question him? When I end up going in the wrong order of questioning the Most High Yah. But he checked me, and I always like his discipline, because that was a time where I knew that he was checking me, because he was lining me up with the question that I was asking him. How could this be? Then how can you be? You know, that's what he said. Now, what do you got to say? You see, how could you be? If you saying how could it be out of all these people, how could I choose one out of millions of people? He's just saying, don't question me. Don't doubt the way I rumble, in a sense, his own order. So I, Sister Deborah, say unto you again, get your house in order. The house represents your spirit. The order is understanding of the Ruach HaKodesh, understanding the spirit of Yah. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and will be back. Shalom and shalom.